Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this video is about my 3 favorite luxury purchases of 2022. Now, 2022 was a slightly different year for luxury for me because I mostly focused on clothes since that was a real necessity in my life. I didn't buy any fine jewelry, so essentially I used the money that I would have otherwise spent on fine jewelry pieces on my wish list on clothes, which I'm so happy that I did, but I wouldn't say any of the clothing items that I got were necessarily favorites, although for the most part, I've put everything that I bought to good use. I've tried really hard to think of 3 fails or things that I didn't like, and I really struggled with the exception of one cardigan that I got at the Hermes sale, which I told you about. I got it in the wrong size, but other than that, I don't really have any fails. So this video will be about my favorites, since everything I bought last year was pretty much a win. I think that's one of the benefits of shopping like I do in a very slow and considered way. I find that I don't make a lot of mistakes or have many regrets because when I buy something, it's usually after a long period of consideration. So I tend to only make mistakes if I'm shopping in those situations where I have to make very quick decisions, like at the Hermes sale. So let's get started. As you can see, my first favorite is the Chypre sandals from Hermes. Now, I wanted these sandals so bad. I tried to get them in 2021 and could not find them anywhere. I couldn't get them online. My essay couldn't get them for me. And finally, at the very beginning of 2022, she was able to put aside a pair for me. So I actually bought these in the winter, which I recommend is the best time to get any hard to get spring summer items. So because I got these in the winter, I didn't wear these for at least 4 or 5 months after I got them. And the first couple of times I wore them, they were a nightmare. I thought I had made the biggest mistake. They were so uncomfortable. Not at the bottom of the shoe. The footbed is actually a perfect ergonomic, almost orthopedic type fit, but where the straps are were so uncomfortable that I thought this was a huge fail. But I hate selling anything, so I just continued to wear them until I broke them in, and then they became the sandals of my dreams. After that, I just could not stop wearing them. If you follow me on Instagram, this summer it almost became a joke in my stories where I would just post pictures of all the different places I wore these sandals. And it became very hard for me to wear any other shoes. So I would say by far, this was my most used luxury item of 2022. Hands down, without a doubt. I'm sure they will go out of fashion at some point, and I'm telling you now, I don't care. I'm trying my best to contain myself and not buy another pair in the natural color, which is very similar to gold. I looked at other brands in an attempt not to duplicate, so I looked at the Pradas and I looked at the Dior's, but they were all so much more expensive than the Hermes version that it wouldn't really make much sense to buy any of those since I like the Hermes version better anyway. And let's not even talk about the Chanel Dad sandals. They are more than double the price of the Hermes version, so that is a hard no. Okay, my second favorite luxury item purchase of 2022 is a bit of a cheat because I actually bought this in 2021, but I didn't unbox it until 2022, so it counts, right? This is the Louis Vuitton Coffret Trésor in the size 20. This item has been on and off my wish list for many years, at least 6 or 7 years, but I finally decided to bite the bullet because I'm a fan not just of luxury bags or shoes, but I love luxury home. And that's one of the reasons why I love Hermes so much, is that there is so much to choose from in the home category. Why I decided to finally bite the bullet and get this item was that I had a pretty substantial Saks reward certificate, so I was essentially able to get this for the price that this was when I first put it on my wish list way back then. It is so annoying to finally buy something that you've wanted for years and think, why didn't I buy this when it was $2,000 cheaper? I love having little unexpected luxury pieces all around my home. And for me, because these pieces are always out and on display, I get to enjoy them every day, unlike some of my handbags. I know there are a lot of people that find these luxury home items to be a waste of money and way too expensive for what they are, but for me, a feeling of luxury in the home space is just as, and perhaps more important than a luxury handbag. Let me know if you guys are similar, or if you only shop luxury for, let's say, bags and shoes, but you'd never spend the money on home items. Last but not least is a handbag. Now, admittedly, I only had 2 handbags to choose from because I only bought 2 handbags in 2022, but you guys know this about me. I only buy 1 or 2 bags per year. When I first shared that on YouTube, I got a lot of messages of people telling me to live a little. Why am I limiting myself? What's funny is that now many other people seem to be going down that route. It's not that I have anything against other people buying multiple bags every month. Both for financial and space reasons, I limit the amount of bags that I buy to 1 or 2 per year. I'm very upfront that I have a small, limited luxury budget, and I live in New York City, so I have space constraints. I'm not going to pretend that I live in a little tiny apartment, but I certainly don't have a room just for handbags, nor do I want one. So that's the practical part of it, but the more personal reason that I have for limiting myself in such a way, I'm not the kind of person that can enjoy many things all at once. So when I get too many things at once, I find it overwhelming. I'm just not the kid at Christmas that can open up 50 toys and enjoy them all. So irregardless of my financial and space constraints, limiting myself to 1 to 2 handbags a year really allows me to enjoy each piece fully. And that's one of the reasons that I focus on Hermes. I now know myself well enough to know that unless it's a color that's not worth it for me to pay the Hermes price because I wouldn't wear it enough, such as a purple bag. But since I'm working with limited money and space, it wouldn't make sense for me to buy, let's say, a black bag from another designer house because I pretty much know that every time I need a black bag for any purpose, I'm always going to choose either a Chanel or Hermes black bag. So all of that aside, my favorite bag of the 2 that I bought this year, the other being the black Kelly 25 Cellier, was this Constance 18 in Epsom leather, rose gold hardware in the color Mauve Sylvestre. Now this bag was my 3rd choice, and it's so funny that my 3rd choice turns out to be my favorite. I actually got my 1st choice this year, which was the Kelly 25 Cellier. I did not get my 2nd choice, which was a Nata Mini Kelly, which I'll talk more about in my wish list video, which should be my next video, so look out for that. So I know you guys only saw this unboxing a few weeks ago, but I got this bag in the spring of 2022, so I've had it for a very long time. This was by far my most used bag this summer, which I wasn't expecting, but I enjoyed it so much for a few reasons. Firstly, the color. I knew I needed a light color bag, that's why I requested this bag and the Nata Mini Kelly, but once I started using it, it was like a breath of fresh air, and I realized how much my collection was missing light colors. So in the summer, when I'm wearing whites and light grays, I really needed a light color bag. Now, I am a New Yorker to the core, so you will find me in all black cotton and linen looks throughout the summer. That's never going to change, but I do wear a lot more light colors in the summer, so the color played a big role in that. But also the fact that I could wear this bag crossbody, which is how I wore it 100% of the time. I don't particularly like this bag double strapped. It hit at the perfect length crossbody, so it wasn't at all awkward to carry. Now, the last reason that I wore this bag so much last summer, which was the most surprising reason, was that it was shockingly understated, which was a complete surprise to me because I didn't request this bag for the longest time because I thought it was going to be so showy. I thought that H would be like a neon sign saying, "Look at me." But the reality was I got a ton of compliments on this bag and not one person said, "Is that an H?" or "What does the H stand for?" or "Is that bag Hermes?" No one recognized it as an H. Everyone just saw a beautiful bag in a beautiful color with a magnificent clasp. And as I said in my unboxing video, I have found it to be way more understated than my Birkin because the design of the Birkin and what it now represents in popular culture makes it a much more visible and recognizable bag. So the Constance for me was a revelation. I am so glad I got it. And it's not that I don't love my Kelly 25 Cellier, it's just that I've gotten so much more use out of my Constance, which was a huge shock. So I'm very curious to know what was your best purchases of last year and what do you think of mine? Did any of these surprise you? Stay tuned for my wish list video. That's one of my favorite videos to watch. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. That would make my day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.